Welcome back, everybody, to the Me and Jesse podcast. My name is Mark Pavelich, and in the Grove, the big sexy, the star of the show, Mr. Jesse Martineau.
Well, it's good to see everybody, and yes, the World Cup is over. The question of the day is
You never know with you.
Lionel Messi the GOAT? I say no.
Now-
I say no. Absolutely not. He is not the GOAT. He's not the GOAT.
Okay.
You know what? And this is the thing, because people
I'm
are
okay
down
with
on
it. You go
Ronaldo.
ahead. You
People
go
are
ahead.
down
I'm
on
okay
that.
with it.
But you know, I think that, yes, okay, Messi is a phenom. Yes, one of the top three of all time, maybe.
Top three of all time.
To me, the greatest has to be a guy that transforms the sport, that revolutionizes the sport, that brings
Like a
the
Pele.
sport to a level like a Pele, like a Ronaldo, because he brought the sport to North America. And that's what I find is the real key behind it. And in that way, some ways you have to put, and again, I'm not comparing skill here. I'm talking the greater scheme, the greater picture of things.
Yeah.
You could almost argue that David Beckham's more famous than Lionel Messi.
Oh, he's more famous, but we're talking about GOATs, okay?
Sure.
So, and your argument does stand up, because I don't believe that Messi has transcended the sport. I believe he's a fantastic football player. I believe that he, like you said, me personally, I think he's top 5 of all time.
Okay.
But you know what's funny? Mbappe from Mano's been yelling at me for 2 days now how to say his name correctly. Mbappe is arguably right now, because has anybody checked his age, his birth certificate?
It's ridiculous.
Do you understand what we got here right now?
Yeah.
We legitimately got possibly the guy that could be the greatest of all time. Like we don't see that very often. Like you, Jesse, go right now in basketball, go right now in hockey. Oh yeah, McDavid's awesome, but hasn't won a cup yet. He hasn't really got the rest of the players to do like Jordan did back in the day, like all resonate towards him. So you start to watch this, and he's doing things like it's scary. Like when he scored 3 goals, okay? You know what's funny? When it was 2-0 Argentina.
Oh man.
You know what? I knew it wasn't over.
Really?
I knew it.
I was like, they can't come back from this.
No, and you know what's weird? You have too much talent on France, okay? Even what happened was when France, listen to me, this game was probably arguably everybody, soccer fans, football fans, you can't argue with this. This is easily the best World Cup game in history, in my opinion. When you go 2-0 down with 80 minutes left, on the 80 minutes mark, on the minute mark, it goes 2-1, and then literally 27 seconds later, 47 seconds later, they score again. I mean, oh my God! Mano Pavlich's head went right through the roof of our drywall, the ceiling, because she was so excited. And then to go.
I said when you're France. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you meant the 2-0 down. Oh yeah, absolutely.
And then go into overtime.
Oh my gosh!
And Argentina scores, and you go, okay, now it's over. Now it's over.
They're crying on the bench.
No.
It was okay. I will say this. Let's skip the Mets. We'll come back to that.
Greatest of all time.
It was the greatest game of all time, I think.
Okay, listen to me when I tell you this, Jesse. It was the greatest sport game of all time.
Really? Wow. Better than you think, bigger than the Summit Series. You think bigger than the Canada beating Russia. Because to me that would probably be number 2.
I'm talking globally.
You're right.
Okay,
you're right. Globally, it has to be.
When you say, Jesse, when you say the Summit Series, all these things, those are 2 nations.
Biggest in Canada, maybe.
Those are 2 nations that get all excited about that, right? This is different, Jesse. This resonates to the core. Okay, like I told people earlier. Have you ever set your alarm for 2:59 to watch a sporting event? You have not. I have. Okay. And so have you, Jesse.
Yep.
So this is what I'm trying to explain to you. This is different.
It is.
Globally, the best game, I don't care, moment in sport. When you look back on it and you say, wow, like think about how the game broke down.
Yeah.
And then listen, it wasn't like France scored in the 60th minute, the 70th minute. Jesse, the 80th minute.
It was
the way he took. Jesse, do you remember how he took the ball out of the net at the 80th minute? He scored. Forget about the dance.
Yeah.
This is what I'm talking about. This is why this kid's going to be maybe the greatest of all time. He runs and gets the ball, runs back to center, and literally goes, guys, we're down only by 1.
Yeah.
Okay. They marched down and scored again, man. You got to just say to yourself, am I watching this? And then you think all the momentum's towards France. Everything. France has got this now.
Yeah.
No, they go to overtime. They score. Then I looked at my wife. I said, this ain't over, man. This isn't over. I'm telling you, this is France we're talking about. This isn't Canada. Yeah. Okay. This is France. All right. Oh yeah. Go ahead and send me anything you want. Okay. I could care less. We're talking soccer now. This is like religion. All right. Yeah. And I'm telling you, they go and score the next goal. When I saw France score the third goal, the only thing that bothered me was when they did the penalty shots, when I saw those 2 young kids come again, and those 2 kids choked. One of them choked before, right? I said, you could have changed the order, okay?
Yeah,
you got to change the order, because if you're shooting first, you got to score. You got to score.
Yes, and then I think that was smart to put Mbappe and Messi, get those guys on the board.
That's what I do. That's what I do. But then you got to kind of put some guys that are kind of guaranteed.
Arguably, your second shooter is more important.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. 100%.
Like, the funny thing is too, because they had to take Giroud and Griezmann out.
Yeah,
because you know this is going to go to OT. This
and they're old.
Yeah, so you're like, but those are like 2 guys that you are pretty sure going to put it in the back of the net.
Well, Griezmann for sure. I
mean, Giroud is a natural goal scorer. Like the guy,
Giroud too.
I mean, and really, like, you can't say enough good things about him when he was written off a couple World Cups ago. But
even when they said he was going to play this World Cup, people were still laughing. They were laughing at him.
But Mbappe, I'm just looking at some stats right here. Mbappe is actually ahead of where Messi was at this stage, at his age right now. He's almost doubled him in international goals at this stage.
I think his status will be, and you know what? He's got a flash to him too. See, this is Messi's problem. Messi has no flash.
Yeah.
There's no flash about him whatsoever. And you know what I hate to tell kids at home? That is same with McDavid.
To me, he's the McDavid thing. Yeah, exactly. I totally agree.
I can't relate to him.
This is what I put into this GOAT thing.
I can't.
Because you look at Tom Brady, and Tom Brady, like, okay, Tom Brady's Tom Brady, and yes, but there's a flash there. There's a confidence that he brings to everything, and whatever he does, no matter what interview, he's the guy.
But is it? You think it's confidence? I think it's the biggest chip in NFL history on his shoulder, that he walked around for all those years with a chip on his shoulder, won all those titles, and now people are telling him, "No, Tom, you should retire." You know what Tom Brady's doing? Shooting everybody the bird, going, I'm going to play this thing out till the guitar strings fall off. You know what I mean? So you can't say nothing about the guy. The guy was picked, 200th or 199. And then he goes and wins, record amount of Super Bowls. Then he goes to a different franchise that no one thinks are going to win the Super Bowl, wins the Super Bowl there. And then that's what happens. I better learn how to say Mbappe's name correctly.
Mbappe.
Mbappe.
There you go. Mbappe.
Mbappe. You got to remember this. He's already won the World Cup.
Yeah.
He's just won the Gold Boot.
Yep.
He's already won in the Premier League.
I think he won it last time too.
Yeah, but he's already won in the Premier League. This guy's 23 years old, Jesse. 23.
Yeah, I don't think he was one in the Premier League. He's in PSG, so I don't.
No, but prior, didn't he win something too?
I don't know. I'm not sure if he was.
Yeah.
I don't think. Did they win the Champions League? I can't remember. But I mean, again, there's a lot, and the thing is there's a long career away. But Messi has never been Messi until this World Cup in
I agree.
in international play. Like
Messi looked like Ronaldo this time. Like he looked. Sorry, everybody. And you know what? You got listen, people at home too. Shame on you. Shame on you. All you writers, all you brown nose idiots that write for Sports Illustrated and all these other places that you already crowning Messi as the greatest of all time. He's not, okay? And when I'm telling you, hey, his own countrymen, arguably, if you did a poll in Argentina, even today, if you did a poll in Argentina, they wouldn't say it was him. They would say he's number 2 in Argentina. Okay.
Yeah.
That's for sure. That's for sure.
That's a tough one, right? Because you could look at Maradona and they're like, well,
there's a lot of flash there, right?
Oh my goodness. I don't know if there's a guy that it was too much.
Too much
It was
flash.
too
Yeah.
much flash.
Yeah.
That's what probably ended him early. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. But I stand by the thing that I do think Ronaldo is better. I really do.
I think how his country shit on him this World
I
Cup.
think it's disgraceful.
They should be. It's a disgrace.
Yeah.
The people of Portugal should be ashamed of themselves. The coach of Portugal should be hung by the closest tree in Portugal, because what he did to Ronaldo during this World Cup is a disgrace. You know what's funny? I never got mad at a guy, Jesse. Okay, Jesse, let's bring back this. I trained multiple guys that fought in the UFC. Most people don't know that. Okay, they don't. They know that I own the MFC. They know all these other things, but I actually train people and manage guys, but more train guys to fight in the UFC.
Right.
I never ever got mad at an athlete that took his mouthpiece after a round and he did shitty in training and threw it on the ground and kicked the fence. Okay. I never got mad at him for doing that, Jesse. You know why? Because it showed me he gave a shit.
Yeah.
It showed me that he cared. The guy that was always quiet, I didn't know what he was thinking. I didn't like that guy. I liked the guy that put his emotion on his sleeves. He showed me what it was wrong with him. He got mad at me. And listen, I managed to train Jason McDonald for 8 years in the UFC. There was one time in training, we did a drill, and it's important to understand this for the mindset. Okay. We were doing a drill and I kept telling him to get off his back. And I was screaming at him, and I had like Olympic level wrestlers holding him down, and he couldn't get off his back. And I'm screaming at him, get off your back, get off your back. All of a sudden, Jason McDonald looks at me. He goes, F you, Mark. F you, Mark. Like, he's frustrated, right?
Yeah, exactly.
With himself. He's frustrated with himself. What happens then? I go, no, F you, Jason. And I walk out. Never in my life ever walked out of a training session. You know what happened next? He calls my house. I'm not taking his call. I'm not taking his call. He calls back again. I'm sorry, Mark. You know what I told him? Get off your fucking back. Get off your back. You know what I mean? Get to your forefront. Get on top. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And guess what? But what I'm trying to tell you is, see, the athlete Jason McDonald he knew he had to, you know what I mean? It was in him. He had to let it out.
It's a part of him.
But he didn't do that prior to that. He was the quiet guy, but I had to get that emotion out of him. You know what happened to Messi this time around? You saw he got a little bit mean this time around. He was a little bit disgruntled with people this time around. When people were interviewing him, he wasn't his same sweet self. You know why, Jesse? You got to bring the devil. Okay, my friend, when you want to win the championship, that's why guys grow their beards. That's why guys don't shower. That's why, because it's a war. It's a war. And to win the World Cup, okay, we just watched, it takes how long? A month? It was a month.
It's a month-long tournament.
Month-long tournament. And this much you're out and this much you're in. That's how it worked. So you better be careful. Look at some of the countries right now reevaluating their soccer history.
Oh, yeah.
Italy didn't even make the World Cup. Can you imagine?
Crazy.
They dominate in the Euro Cup. Dominate. They looked unreal. Then they don't even qualify.
I know.
You gotta say to yourself, what the hell's going on there? Look at Belgium. Everybody, Belgium ranked number 2, 3. Oh, they're the great. Oh, they sucked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And for everybody else at home that thinks United States and Canada are still this close, here's a news flash. They're not. They're
they
not.
Got a ways to go yet.
Are you kidding me? Like, you know how stupid it sounds when I hear people listen to me on TSN, these idiots that were on TSN. The only one that was any good was Toss on TSN, and I got all love for you, Toss. But the other guys, like the way they talk, I understand you're trying to motivate a country to get better, and I want them to get better too. But you're still about another 8 years away before you actually get a taste of getting to that next round. I'm telling you.
Well, you definitely have to. Yeah, you absolutely have to.
Yeah,
it's a whole nation that has to buy in. You can't just magically make a couple people on there. It has to be. Yeah, there has
money,
to be
Jesse.
actual development in the sport. If there isn't, then you don't have any hope at all.
Correct. Look at Morocco. Morocco spent a fortune on their soccer career, their soccer program. Look what happened. Morocco came fourth in the World Cup. Did anybody think they were going to become fourth in the World Cup? Not a chance. The farthest African nation ever, because they spent money on their soccer program. Oh, guess what happens when you spend money? You can get better training, better facilities, better for injuries, better for a lot of things. So, when Canada, listen, hockey's great and all, okay? But I do want to see Canadian soccer go another level. I do, Jesse.
Absolutely.
I want to see them do great. I want to see them qualify. I want to see them go to the next level. I want them to be fierce. But you got to feel this humiliation first in soccer before you can go to the next level. It's the facts. We've all felt it. You tell me you haven't, Jesse? You felt that stick in your stomach when your team lost? When Croatia loses? When Croatia lost to Argentina, it was like someone shot me in the stomach because we played so poorly. And it was just like, wow, like you just laid down against Argentina after beating Brazil.
Yeah,
you know?
no, it's crazy how that happens. But, you know, and
again,
it
does.
I'm not taking anything away from Messi. I'm just saying that I don't think he's the guy. I mean, okay, absolutely. But it's the Mario Lemieux, Wayne Gretzky argument to me.
No, I still think there's more of a gap. I think there is an argument all the time with Mario Lemieux and Wayne Gretzky. But I still think Pele could be probably the greatest of all time. And then I could say Ronaldo would be number 2. And then I could say Messi's number 3. You know, I could say that. But, you know, it's like I said, he doesn't do a lot for himself. Like, he's lucky this came out his way this time around. Because there would have been there would have been no discussion.
Yeah. And I think, too, like, okay, great. You did it. Maybe this is your last one. Maybe. But, you know, then the other side of it is what is next for him? Because do you keep playing in this kind of stuff? What do you do next? Because I really don't think he loves the spotlight.
No, I think you're right, Jesse. I think he goes back to club football for a few years and fizzles out. You know what I mean? Maybe plays his last season in the MLS, you know, to give the world a look at him.
I can't see him. I honestly can't see him doing it because I don't think he cares that much.
No, I think you could be right. You could.
You might be right. I could see maybe Ronaldo trying that just because I think.
Yeah.
To me, when I look at the two, and again, I don't know them, but when I look at the two, yes, okay, you say all these things about Ronaldo, and yes, he's passionate. He wears his heart on his sleeve, but whenever he says something, the world listens. It's headlines everywhere whenever he does anything, and I don't see that with Messi. And yes, okay,
Jesse, you know the way he's lived his life too, the way Ronaldo's lived his life, and how he's conducted himself as an athlete. No one can take that away from him. No one. You should have your mouth washed out with soap if you say anything different, because literally the guy, he doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke, he doesn't party,
he doesn't even get tattoos because he donates blood every 6 months.
Yeah, and he doesn't want. Yeah, exactly. There you go. Yeah. So when people are talking about looking for that role model, he is it. So you have to look at that. Like, there's a lot of tangibles. I mean,
footballers. This is what the thing is. Like, they've always had this thing. You can't go look and tell me Wayne Rooney or David Beckham didn't have the swagger. I mean, you can't say that. You know, and Messi doesn't say anything. It's because he doesn't want to. He doesn't know what to say. He doesn't know how to say it. So I don't think that was his thing. To me, skill. And I know that's what we're kind of talking about, but I still see guys that do that and this, which separates them to me.
I agree.
And again, hey, you don't agree, tell us, because, you know, I want to hear your reasonings.
Well, we'll see in 2 years in the Euro Cup, everybody, and we'll see what teams look different, because they will look very different.
Yep.
You know, I'm super stoked that, you know, now that Croatia came in third, we all go, yeah, they came in third. And now as Croatians, you go, no, we're not happy. We're happy to a certain extent. The country put on a party like we won. You literally thought we won, because that's what happens when you have a country of 3.8 million people. They go nuts because you thought you win. But I'm the realist. I'm the realist Croatian that says, you know what, that midfield could collapse.
Yep.
But you know what? You know what we do have? We have defense now. Fantastic defense. The 20-year-old kid that was wearing the face mask.
Yeah.
He basically was unreal, and literally we have some guys in the midfield. And if Modric can play midfield,
I think he does Euros, but I don't think
if he does Euro, mark my words. Before this is over and before I die, Croatia will win Euros or the World Cup in my lifetime. Because you know what happens, Jesse? We've watched it happen in every sport. once you lay that sod down and you start telling kids, qualifying is nothing no more. You know what I'm saying? It happened to the Detroit Red Wings for 20 years.
Yeah.
What happened? What happened? So you got to keep developing.
Yes.
So Croatia keeps developing because if you notice, there was a goal scored by Morocco by some kid that came off the bench, number 16, who people didn't realize in the Premier Soccer League, his last game, he scored 3 goals. He wasn't even starting for Croatia.
Yeah.
Wasn't even starting. This is what I'm talking about. It's like France. You go down the line, there's another guy. This guy's the top scorer in Germany, and he's on the bench.
Yeah.
So Croatia has a little bit of that now. Croatia, you can go down the bench like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then it stops at 6. France could put 2 teams out.
Right.
France has got 22 players that can do it. Croatia might have 16, 15, 16, but Canada only has not even 11.
Right.
Morocco has 8. This is how you have to look at it. The United States has 6, 6 players. So this is how you have to break it down. So this is what I'm trying to tell you. Did you start noticing some of the games? Oh, better players started getting out at the 60th minute, the 70th minute. Why? Because they had guys on the bench that are major league premier soccer
and that's
players.
what the great nations will do
on the bench.
They have
on the
that.
bench.
Yeah,
on
exactly.
The bench.
And they play minimal minutes where they're playing every minute on the club
correct.
teams. It is crazy. Again, a great tournament. I think, say what you want about Qatar. They did amazing. They did. And they actually everywhere shows that they did great on it. So in even the numbers, which is mind blowing, but hey, they did. They spent a heck of a lot of money, billions.
They did.
Billions of dollars building 7 brand new stadiums. But it actually just got the F1 because the F1's committing to a long-term deal there in Qatar too. So
did you see what the idiot though did from Argentina, the goalie? When he won the goalie of the tournament, he puts the trophy where his penis is, and literally right in front of the president of Qatar. And you really think to yourself, like, what an idiot. Like, I don't care what country you're in, whether it's Qatar or you're in North America. You win such a prestigious award, and then you put it where your junk is. You know what I mean? And it's just like, it makes no sense. It's totally classless, but that's just my opinion.
I know, I don't understand what it is. There's been memes flying all over today about that.
Yeah, of course. And that's what they're going to remember. This idiot putting a trophy where his genitalia area is, and it's like, Jesus, man, what's wrong with you?
We had a wild day in football yesterday as well.
Wild
day.
Hey, did you know? Here's a little trivia for people at home.
Okay.
Chandler Jones.
Yes.
Okay, that pulls off the miracle on ice here for the Raiders yesterday against the Pats. You believe what happened? That last play, my wife's sitting next to me. She never sits next to me when I watch football. You know why, Jesse? Because after 124 curse words, she usually leaves.
It's like
right?
rewatching The Goodfellas every Sunday.
Oh, it's way worse. Okay, so Mano, I'm wondering why she's sitting next to me. She never sits next to me for football games. And all of a sudden, she's like, so what can happen here? Because it's it's going to be tied. I said, well, they're going to down the ball, blah, blah, blah. And I was giving her every scenario that could possibly happen, except for the one scenario that did happen.
Because that isn't supposed to happen.
That's not supposed to happen.
What the hell was he thinking?
Well, you know what he did? He saw the quarterback.
Yeah.
And he was trying to throw the ball back to the quarterback, which was still a stupid play because there was no
a guy
one
covering him.
Because there's no one behind the quarterback. He can't throw the ball behind him. So it was mega stupid.
Yeah, there's so many different things. Because if he
but
misses
here's the
ball,
trivia
it's a
question,
fumble.
Jesse. Here's the trivia question.
Okay.
Did you know that Chandler Jones's brother is John Bones Jones?
I did not know that.
Either did I till today.
Weird. I had no idea. Crazy.
Exactly. Chandler Jones, who I've been trash talking for most of the year because you can't hear his name ever, except for the last few games, he's kind of woken up. Well, it's official. His brother is John Bones Jones, arguably one of the greatest UFC fighters of all time.
Yeah. Is he the GOAT?
Arguably. Arguably.
I mean, he could have been. hands down.
Well, he's going to come back. He's going to come back. So
Yeah,
we'll see.
I mean,
But
that's
Chandler John Bones Jones' brother, Chandler Jones, for the Raiders.
Yeah, that's interesting. All right.
For the Raiders. Incredible.
Boy, that Broncos-Cardinals game couldn't get any worse. But how many backup
Please,
quarterbacks did you have
you
in
win.
there? Yeah, like, come on now. And I mean, hey, the Broncos won. Unfortunately, Russ wasn't in. So, I mean, they got to win. I mean, I guess they have no Kyler Murray. Who would have said this at the beginning of the season? The Arizona Cardinals and the Denver Broncos would be 4-10 at this point. 4-10. That, like, people at AZ going, top division. Broncos, Super Bowl bound, maybe, like Chiefs Broncos there.
Are you crazy? Everybody said that the Denver Broncos not are going to win the division. They're going to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
With the new kind of like coaching with Russell Wilson there. That's everybody said that. I was like, no, they're not.
It looked like, I mean, really, when you look at it on paper still, when you look at it today, when you looked at it at the beginning of the season, you're like, oh my God, this is going to be
100%.
insane. And
100%.
it just didn't work out. It has not worked out. I don't know what they're going to do. They owe this guy a ton of money. Someone's like, someone will take him. They'll trade him. I'm like, who's going to take him? And I bet you there's no trade deal in there, so he ain't going to Tennessee. I can tell you that. He's not going to go to Houston. So I don't understand what's going on with that. I don't know what they're going to do. They obviously are in trouble. Like, and I'm not just like I'm not exaggerating. They're in trouble because this could be, and they're trying to sell the team. They're trying to get trying to get a European buyer hooked, and like this, just isn't working. This is their move. Hey, we want to sell this team in 2 years. How are we going to do it? Let's get a QB that can get us close, that can give us a shot. Let's sell the house, get Russell Wilson. And then we can sell the team. We'll be able to sell the team. Everyone will look at this year and they'll be like, holy crap, our price goes skyrocketing, and we'll sell this team and we'll make a ton of money. Well, now they're in trouble because no one wants this team anymore because he got 5-10 years of trying to fix this thing. I don't think this gets fixed. I don't think Russell can be fixed. I think Russell's broken. I think that he is actually done. I don't think he can win 10 plus games in a NFL uniform anymore.
Because what happened, Jesse? When he went and got dealt, to Denver. In theory, some guys have the character like Tom Brady and go, "Yeah, I'll show you. Chip on my shoulder."
Yeah.
Tom Brady, biggest chip ever.
I know.
Biggest chip ever. Now you say to yourself, "Oh, Russell's got a big chip too because he's never been MVP, blah blah blah." He doesn't. He doesn't have a chip on his shoulder. He doesn't. You cannot manufacture a chip on your shoulder, Jesse. You cannot. You can't make one up. You can't. You know how people make up their past and they say, "Oh, it was really tough growing up," and you find out the guy lived in the suburbs.
Yeah.
So like this is what I'm trying to tell you. You cannot make up a chip. A chip is real. Tom Brady's chip is real. Russell Wilson's is not. So what happens is Russell goes to Denver and then finds out, you know what? I don't really like wearing orange every day. I really don't want to be here like I thought I did. And you can clearly see by his play how true that is.
Yeah. And I also think that, back to the chip thing, like, he was small, he was undersized, but he got a shot. He got that chance right away, actually.
Won a Super Bowl.
Yeah. He didn't he had to go through things when he was growing up and went to Div 2 or whatever, 3 school. It doesn't matter. When he got the shot in the NFL, he got given it. So he didn't even really have to fight for it that year.
Nope.
He just got it. And so there you go. Then that was it. It was given to him. So he hasn't really, really, I think what happened is that 1 yard interception broke him.
Oh, forever.
I think it broke him. I really do. I think that, at first
I was there live, bro.
I know you were.
Live. Oh, my God.
I think that he... I think that he dealt with it for a few years, but I don't think he really truly got over it, and I think it wrecked him because
so you're
after
saying there's
that,
some real PTSD there.
I really do think so because after that, yes, he had great. Yeah, they went, but he never did that again. He declined after that, and he had some great seasons in there, and yes, he had great games, and all in all, for the last 10 years, he's been one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL. There's no question. That being said, that's been 10 years. And this is the NFL. And he's been hit more than any other quarterback in
crazy.
the NFL over that time span.
That's right.
That takes a toll on you. And now this is I'm shocked that this is his first concussion. I'm shocked. I actually can almost guarantee this is not his first concussion. But for actually missing a game due to a concussion shows like something isn't right. Something's not going the way it should be here. And I don't know how they can fix it. Here's another one that really is something. Deshaun Watson.
Wow.
I mean, I don't eat. If anyone's been watching the show for any extended period of time, that the NFL doesn't give a shit what you do. They do not care how many people you off. They do not care how many massage parlors you close down. They don't care how many tax evasions. They don't care how much drugs you do or sell. They don't care about extortion. They don't care about
ownership,
abuse. They don't care about ownership. They don't care about domestic abuse. They don't care about any of that. All they care about is the bottom line. And if you're going to win games in an NFL stadium, you can do whatever the hell you want and play in the NFL. And anyone that says that Colin Kaepernick should be playing and could be playing, but isn't because of this other reason, is bullshit. Because he would be playing today. If Deshaun Watson proves anything, it's that Colin Kaepernick would be playing in the NFL.
If he was good enough.
If he was good enough. You got me there? You can't hear me? Uh-oh. Now you can't hear me. Maybe you lost your headphones there. You check your headphones there, Mark. Maybe your headphones came out. Oh, my mic's not working. Uh-oh. Well, I can still hear it on this. We're just going to... Hey, you know what? Hey, we'll play the thing right back. We'll be right back right after this.
Get ready. It's time for the Me and Jesse podcast with Mark Pavelich and Jesse Martineau. Get ready. It's time for the Me and Jesse podcast with Mark Pavelich and Jesse Martineau.
We had some technical difficulties.
We're back now. We're back. It's all good. So, I don't know about the Deshaun Watson thing. I don't understand how... Oh, we lost Mark there. Sorry, everyone. We'll be right back once more.
Are you playing something?
Well, we're back now, everybody. Hello. Welcome back to the show. I don't know. The internet sucks. But
It does.
the one thing is with the NFL is if you don't win, you don't get to play, and that's how it works. And it should
Right.
work that way in most sports. The problem is that there's no accountability. You don't, man, they don't care how much you screw up. And if anything that's been proved over this time, it's that they don't really care. They just want people to come to the game. And you know what else? Here's another thing, fans. You don't really care either. You want your
No.
team to win. And
Yeah.
okay, some people might be upset about Deshaun Watson and the Browns. And yeah, there's some people around the NFL saying this shouldn't happen. But at the end of the day, nobody really cares because they're still going to the game. They're still watching it. They're still selling
full.
out. It doesn't. And again, I'm not agreeing with it. I'm just saying this
These are
is
the
what's happening. And so if you want things to change, you stop paying. Because what they've figured out is that we decide, the market decides. And as long as people keep buying tickets and merchandise, whatever.
That's
if
right.
something really bad happened and people stopped buying tickets, then then we'd
Then
have
they have to
something
do
to
it.
talk about. But
Yeah.
they don't. So he's going to play. And again, I mean, that's their policy, it seems. That's the policy of the NFL. If you can play and you're good, you can play. It doesn't matter what you do off the field.
How it works.
In fact,
How it works.
Playing in the NFL is almost a get out of jail free card.
Almost.
It's crazy when you look at it like that, but it is true. He paid off 25 people so that he could play in the NFL again. He's already made that money back, probably exponentially. I mean, really, if I was any of those girls' lawyers, I would be taking a percentage for the rest of his career. Like, I don't even understand how you get through that and not
Well,
be...
they paid off everybody, right?
They paid
So
off everybody.
they
25
paid off
people.
everybody.
And what I doubt they each got $1 million. Can you see him paying 25 million? I don't see it.
Oh yeah, probably. Yeah, don't forget his new contract's what, 200 million?
Yeah.
So it's what's 25, 30, 40, 50 million?
I know,
And I
really.
guarantee you got a tax relief for that too, right? Paying that
that's
off.
right.
So
It's a gift.
yeah,
They got tax relief. Which
it's
they should.
insane.
But
It's insane. But
it's nuts.
yeah,
I don't get it.
Don't
I
bring
don't.
it up on the show, guys. Don't bring it up on the show. You're not going to win because
Yeah, no.
if you think for 1 second Colin Kaepernick, if he was good enough to play right now, you think they would care if he kneeled down? They could care less. They could
He'd
care
go out
less.
there in a Speedo and they wouldn't care.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter because it's not about that. It's about putting
Can you
money
imagine
in the
being
bank
in the
account.
office of the NFL head office on a daily basis? The amount of calls that come in
Oh my gosh.
for DUI, for domestic abuse.
In the
for
show
all
Ray
these updates.
Donovan,
Yeah, I do.
right? The fixer, he fixes problems.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine the industry of fixers in the
How
NFL.
many fixers there are in every city?
I know.
In the NFL. In the
You
NFL.
know it happens constantly.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that, this Christmas Eve coming up, that someone's going to get, wasted and head on into a club and assault some girl and it gets covered up. Like, how many times has this happened that we've heard about?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. We heard about those ones. How many have happened that we haven't heard about? And I
Oh, yeah.
promise you, it's exponentially greater than the ones we have heard about.
Oh, that's for sure. This is what we actually
Yeah, this is
know.
what we know.
Yeah. Yeah.
This
Oh,
isn't
man.
what happened. This
Yeah,
is what
and
we
listen,
know.
We're not making a joke about it, everybody. You have to know that at home. We are not. We're just pointing out the reality of all this.
Yeah,
This is
we're pointing at the joke that is this policy with the NFL. It doesn't make sense. I don't get it. I mean, honestly, Deshaun Watson,
you have to do that, though, Jesse.
26 people.
You have to do that, though, Jesse. You have to show that these players are not bigger than the sport. And when they allow them to play, they're making it like they're big. They are.
Yeah,
So,
and again, maybe that's part of Kaepernick's thing. They were trying to show that you're not bigger than this. But again, okay, to a degree. And Deshaun, yes, he got was off for a year. He got however many game suspension here.
8 games.
8 games. And, okay, yeah, they do that. But, man, it's mind-blowing how much this league lets slide. I don't really get it. But here we are, Deshaun Watson winning again.
You know what else too? You know who's a close second place, a very close second place to NFL? Major League Baseball.
Yeah. There's
A
a lot of
Major League
players there too, right? They have
a lot
another
of
huge
players,
roster.
a lot of games, a lot of cities, a lot of transitioning from city to city.
A lot of
168 games a year, traveling nonstop, single guys, lots of money.
Hey, on the other podcast, Spit and Chicklets, they I forget who it was. Whitney made a joke about, oh, that's your road wife. He made that joke on air.
Yeah,
and we know that isn't.
I'm still shocked that you made the statement. You said the word "spitting chicklets" on our podcast, because I think those guys are. Well,
they can watch this and get some pointers. But but the thing is my point with it is that if this guy's saying that on air and live, that is the case in a lot of places.
Even if he's joking about it, right?
Even if he's joking, there's something that he knew. And we've had guys on the show too that have said, hey, those parties are wild. Like when you're in a place, and especially somewhere warm, like it's wild.
You know who I bumped in the other day? I'm out Christmas shopping. Okay. You imagine, and I don't Christmas shop.
Right.
I couldn't tell you what we buy anybody. So my wife says to me, you have to come with me. I'm walking through the mall on the south side. I bump into Brett Myers.
Oh,
that was on our show.
Yes.
Now let me tell you something. The live version of this human, he is a unit.
Oh, like he's a big dude.
Oh, listen, let me explain this to you. And you know what? I'm getting him back on the show in the new year.
Sweet.
Okay, because he wrote a great book.
Yeah.
He's a really good guy. He's a really in-depth guy. He's one of the few people that's probably was suspended by the NHL for history.
He got for life, yeah.
For life.
Only guy to get it for life, yeah.
He was suspended for life. But there's something really cool about this guy on the flip side, because he's changed his life. He's become a great author. And I met him, like I was walking and they're like, hey, and they were screaming who I was. And I was like, who is that, Mano? I don't have my glasses on. I can't see who it is, right? So I'm like, who the hell is that? And then I see Brett, and he's gigantic, like in person. Literally, like I'm 6'1", 230, and I look like I'm I'm a dwarf next to the guy. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy. And literally, and he was the nicest guy when we met. And he said, I got to get you back on the podcast. He's like, I'm in like right away. And just a good guy, really good guy. And awesome. He wanted me to, say hi to you too. So I was like, I forgot all about that. But when you said something, kind of clicked my brain. But he's a different guy. He's gone through, he's gone through hell to get to heaven. That's kind of the mentality.
It's funny how that works in your life, because that's the thing with a lot of these athletes that we've talked to over the last few years, that you look at that kind of stuff and you see all the shit that they've gone through, and some horrible stuff from growing up all the way through the sport and
Theo Fleury.
After. I mean, oh my gosh, Theo Fleury. And you look now and people still shit on them for this other stuff, and you're like, no, hold on, you gotta look at what's going on now. And that's what I think. That's why I appreciate Brent and Theo is that.
Oh, but you look in flip side, how. If you're a hockey purist, okay, all the people that watch our show, you're big hockey purists, I don't give a shit what someone's political belief is. I don't care what your religious belief is. I don't care about nothing. I'm talking about hockey.
Yeah.
How is Theo Fleury not in the Hockey Hall of Fame?
I don't get it.
And what I'm trying to tell people is, it's like, I don't care. Like, if you don't like someone, you dislike, you like, I don't care. I'm talking about stats, okay? Yep. How Theo Fleury and other NHL hockey players are not upset about him being in the Hockey Hall of Fame. There's a serious problem here, okay? And that's what I'm trying to tell people at home. When people come on our show, they might have different agendas. They might think differently than us. I'm okay with that. I really am.
Yeah.
It's funny. I'm past all that in my life now. Being at a certain age, you kind of go, yeah, I don't expect everybody to agree with me. I'm not always right. And I know that. But at the same time, we've had guys on this show, man, where when you say to someone, I don't want to get biblical with people on the podcast, but I do have to say, who are you to judge Theo Fleury, Brent, like these guys that have gone through so much shit in their lives, but they came out the other side. I hope I'm struck by lightning if I ever start doing that, like judging guys for the stuff they've been through. And people go, oh, how can you feel sorry for these guys? Mark, they had made all this money and they did all this stuff and, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you know what? Let me break it down for you. Guys are from small town Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
Go into the NHL. They came from middle class to lower class families. They go into the NHL. They go, hey, here's $2 million. Here, no money management skills whatsoever because they were already out of their house when they were 15 years old, bordering at another city somewhere else, 15 years old in another city. And then they went into the NHL and they gave them all this money and they said, oh, you should know what to do with your money. No course in money, no idea how to spend it or not spend it. But what I'm trying to get across to people is like, you got to be careful, man, because we've had these guys on our podcast and they have wore their heart on their sleeve and they have broke down on our shows and gone into great detail, the stuff they've gone through. And no one has the right to judge them for that. Nobody.
And it's funny because you go back to the Deshaun Watson thing. And again, you give anybody $1 million that's never had anything. What do you think's going to happen? What do you think is going to take place? Anyone that's ever discovered like drugs for the first time, do they just like, I'm just going to try a little bit? No, if you like it, you're going to dive in completely because, hey, this is the greatest thing I've ever discovered and I can afford it. And that's what happens. You just throw money at things and they've never been taught how to actually deal with all this stuff. It's because they don't care. They do not care. They want you to win and they want you to be whatever.
Yeah.
If it makes you better on the field. Let's look at Tiger Woods for now. Tiger Woods was unbelievable.
Yep.
All this stuff comes out and he falls apart. Like, again, people are like, well, that's just because of this. Is it a coincidence?
No, Jesse, it's not because he went to Stanford University. He was a smart guy. And guess what? When you're at Stanford University and you're on the golf team, you're not the cool guy, Jesse, because even the Stanford hockey players are cooler than you. Okay. But the Stanford football team is here. Okay. They're the shit on campus. Tiger Woods isn't the shit. No matter how great he played golf at Stanford, I guarantee you that the football players walked by him in the hallway and flicked his hat off his head. Okay. So what happened was when Tiger got out of Stanford and started playing golf, making all this money, you know what happens, Jesse? Having a wife, having kids wasn't enough for this guy. He had to go out and experience what he thought was the crazy train. And he got on that crazy train in Las Vegas and didn't come off it for a while. Yeah. And lost his wife, lost the connection to his kids for a while. Now he's getting that kind of back with his kids. But, do I talk crap about Tiger for doing that? I shouldn't. You know why? Because once again, coming from Stanford, he was like, yeah, you're smart in school. You might be smart in golf, but they didn't give you a life course on here's a and that when Nike goes, here, Tiger.
Yeah, here's $100 million. And that is a great thing. And people have talked about that on the show that where is the education part of it? Yes, okay, you devote your life. You're basically growing up, devoting your body, your mind, your soul, everything to this sport. And that's it. This is sport. And everyone feeds into that. Everyone feeds into it all the time. Practice this, do this, do this. And you have to, because we know how pro sports are. It is not easy, and you can lose your spot like that.
That's right.
But couldn't there be along the way some education for some people to help them through some of these challenges they're going to face? Or have they already figured this out? Have they already have 50 years of testing, and they realize, hey, if we let these guys do whatever they want, spend whatever they want, they're more motivated to stay and work for their contract versus I'm fine, I'm good with my life, everything's great. I don't really need this now. I don't know. I'm just speculating. But it's an interesting thought to think like, hey, we've seen this happen time and time again. Yeah. This isn't just a one-off, a few people. This is hundreds and thousands of people.
Jesse, just go Google really quickly on how many NFL players are dead broke right now.
Yes.
And you can't even believe what I'm talking.
Is there some science that's been done? Yeah. Some test, some study that's been run that says, hey, these guys play better when they owe a ton of money to someone else
Yeah.
and they
maybe.
need us.
Yeah.
Or like, hey, again,
It's sad, Jesse. It's sad. It's
but
literally
is this
sad.
what's happened?
Yeah.
And if it is, then it answers a lot of the questions of why people screw up this royally in their career. I mean, Deshaun Watson, like, couldn't you just hire a prostitute? Like,
Yeah.
honestly, like, it's legal in some places, but
Go to the
why
places that are legal.
try this? Why try to get someone that isn't, that's just trying to do their job? And yes, okay, maybe, maybe the odd time there was a girl that was into it. Maybe. But you can't tell me that these 26 girls that came forward are the only 26. You can't tell me that there isn't more out there that
Yeah.
said, I can't even do it because I did this so many times and everyone's not going to believe, or I don't want anyone to know. But there's 26 of them that this has happened with that you're like, okay, why is that okay? Like, why is this a thing? Can't you get this some other way? You have millions of dollars. But
I don't know, Jesse. This is a whole nother show, man.
I know.
Because it goes, when Brett comes on the show next time, and when Theo Fleury comes on the show next time, and there's a lot of guys like Kelly Rudy, Louis DeBrusque, they all brought that kind of stuff up, like what was going on. Like, there's a lot of stuff out there in the world, and you think, oh, just throwing money on it makes it so much easier. But as we found out on this show, that is not true.
No,
that doesn't make everybody's life so much easier because
in fact, it causes any problem that you have. Usually, when you get a ton of money, it makes those things worse because now you can fulfill them without any challenge. And that's what happens. Deshaun Watson figured it out at the massage parlor. Like, that's what it is. I like this, and now I have millions of dollars. Do this to me. And
Cleveland doubled down and gave him even more millions.
And they
of
gave
dollars.
him even more. And then they had the national masseuse conference in Cleveland. You can't make this shit up, guys. You can't make this shit up.
You cannot.
Jeez.
You cannot.
Well,
everybody.
I was going to say the same thing as you.
Well, yeah, because we're mostly on the same page all the time. But listen, Crystal Glass, our dear sponsors at Crystal Glass. Crystal Glass, your clear choice for all your glass needs. Call 310 Glass or go to crystalglass.ca. And guess what, everybody? We have a new sponsor advertiser, and I'm telling you right now, I am excited.
Oh, you got one. Yes,
you know why?
Male grooming, backscape.com. The patent, the only multi-directional back shaver on the market. Yes, your back. I know everyone's like, well, why do you shave your back? Well, do you expect your wives to shave their legs? Do you like it when they run around with hair coming out of their nylons? Do you like laying in bed next to them and, you feel that there's a Sasquatch rubbing against you?
Yeah, exactly.
If you don't like that, I guarantee that 98% of women out there, actually there's been studies about this, don't like your hairy back either. So do something about it. This way you can do it yourself. You don't need anybody else to do it.
Do something about it quietly. You don't need anybody. You don't have to announce it to the world. You don't have to make a spectacle of yourself. And guys at home, just quickly, so I can make this very clear with you, your wife or girlfriend doesn't enjoy. And listen, gay, straight, doesn't matter to me. Your husband, your boyfriend, whatever it is, doesn't enjoy shaving your back. There's nothing sexy about that. I promise you.
That's right.
I promise you.
I don't get why people argue about it, but yeah.
Yeah, correct. Nothing sexy about that at all. Check out Meatheads, everybody, too. Specialty meat and seafood. Fantastic. Christmas season is there. Get over there. Get your turkeys. Get all your hams. They got it all. Everything in stock right now. And like I said, Crystal Glass for all your glass needs. Woo! I'm excited.
Well,
the New Year's looking good.
New Year's looking good.
Podcast is going to bump up again, everybody. I know you've supported us all year long.
Yes, thank you.
And we're grateful for that. But we're really excited about the new year. Super excited.
Well, next week is Boxing Day, so we won't have a show. And then we'll see you in 2023. Oh, we lost Mark again. Shoot. Right at the end there. Well, everybody, I know this. Here we go. There we go. That's better there. Thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for all the support over this year and the previous years. We'll be back next time on the Me and Jesse podcast. Oh, there's Mark there. He's back. I was just saying thanks to everyone for watching. I don't know what happened there. We'll figure that out, too.
We will.
Well, have a good Christmas and a Happy New Year. We'll see you in 2023.
Happy Hanukkah, everybody.
Happy Hanukkah and all the other festivities that you got going on over the next couple weeks. Stay safe out there, and thanks again for watching. That's Mark. I'm Jesse. This is Me and Jesse Podcast. Have a great end of the year. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching the Me and Jesse Podcast. Follow us at facebook.com/meandjesse.